6th chapter of Matthew's Gospel, Matthew chapter 6. We began looking at this a couple of weeks ago as we are seeking to understand giving in the 21st century. And we concluded with the observation last week in Matthew chapter 6, verse 19, that Jesus tells his followers that they are to lay up treasure not on earth, but they're to lay up treasure in heaven for themselves. And so the natural question that we have is, how does one lay up treasure in heaven? What does that mean? What are the implications of that? And the Bible does list for us some things that will accrue as an investment by you in heaven. And so we don't have to guess on what laying up treasure in heaven looks like. For example, suffering for Christ's sake is laying up treasure in heaven. Matthew 5, verse 12, 2 Corinthians 4, verse 17. Also, loving and acting kindly towards even your enemies lays up treasure for you in heaven. Matthew 5, verse 46. Giving through the church, praying and fasting appropriately, lay up treasure for heaven. Matthew 6, verse 4, verse 6, and verse 18. Giving to those in need directly lays up treasure in heaven. Matthew chapter 10, verse 42. And doing good deeds and being eagerly generous lays up treasure in heaven. Luke 14, verses 12 through 14. 1 Timothy 6, 18 through 19. That's just to name a few things that the Bible identifies for us as accruing for treasure in heaven on our behalf. In summary, we can say that living and using one's resources for the kingdom is to lay up treasure in heaven. Now, is the reason that Jesus says this because he wants your time and your money? You got a lot of people in this world wanting your time and your money. Maybe Jesus is just one of those distractions who wants your time and your money. No. Matthew 6:21 tells us the reason why. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Wherever and with whatever you preoccupy yourself speaks volumes as to what you value as a person and what you hold to be as significant. Let me illustrate this for you with some illustrations very, very quickly as we contemplate Jesus' words here. If your preoccupation is yourself, you're going to become narcissistic. If your preoccupation is your possessions, you're going to become materialistic. If your preoccupation is your money, you will become greedy and selfish. Whatever is your priority will replace God as the focus of your life and desires, and soon enough you will worship the thing in which your time, your energies, your talents, and your resources are being invested. Whatever you invest those things in, whatever you spend those realities on, is going to become God for you. It's no wonder Jesus said at the end of this chapter, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Christ's desire for us is not that we would worship ourselves, our things, or our money, but that rather we would worship him. And because of our worship of him, because he is our priority, we give to him as a reflection of that priority and what we hold to be significant. Let's keep those things in mind as the ushers ready themselves to receive our offering at this time.